Anytime. Oh, okay.
Talk shoes.
Recorded live.
Welcome to an episode of Mr. Podcast, I guess, right?
Yeah. We're
Topics today.
What's up, guys?
The topics today are saying hello to the audience.
Hi,
Okay.
audience.
Number two.
I guess that was a topic, not what I was supposed to say.
Yeah, that was a topic. This is the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone, look at the PowerPoint. I will click along.
Mhm.
Can I interject? Can I add something to the agenda real quick? Speaking of PowerPoints and clicking, I just thought it's a really boring story I can share real quick.
All right.
We all love boring stories, right?
Yeah, no, we're all about that.
Why else do we keep grandparents around, right?
Oh
man, yeah, old folks. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. They're not shielded.
Wow.
Hey, they have Medicare. They can deal.
There you go.
They have nothing to complain about, right?
Good point.
So I was at this is going to be a long roundabout story real quick.
All right.
So I was at like CVS. If you're in a different part of the country, you might call it Walgreens.
Mhm.
And by different part, I mean across the street, maybe, because sometimes they're close together.
Right.
And I was trying to buy like a little like a notebook, like just some paper, like a one subject notebook.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go to their little school supply section and I'll buy a little notebook. Have trees gone extinct? Because the prices for paper were astonishing to me. Astonishing. Guess how much like a 3-star Mead notebook, the kind we used in high school, was at the store?
Now, is this one of the fancy ones with sort of...
No, this is the standard. This is normal.
Just with the spiral binding?
Yes.
And
yes.
Nothing crazy. Is it wide ruled or college ruled?
It was, I don't know.
Okay. Doesn't matter. It should be the
I
same.
didn't buy it.
Okay.
Hint.
I'm gonna say that would cost $1.50.
You, my friend, just proved my point. Thank you very much. It was like $8.99.
Okay, you're lying.
I'm not lying.
I don't believe you.
I'm not
lying.
That's
insane. There's no way. I've never paid that much for a notebook.
Hey, let me actually. I took a picture of it. Let me go to evidence Exhibit A here.
CVS must be like.
I went to other places too. I went to Albertsons, and they were pretty high too. Let me see what this says. I'll take a picture.
That's insane. That is insane.
Oh, okay. The picture I have is a 5-star Mead, 5-subject notebook, and it's $10.99.
Oh, it's a 5-star. Okay.
$10.99.
Now,
but
for a 5-subject, I would say more like, $3.
$3, right? I don't understand what happened. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's crazy, and it's not like a pack of 3.
No.
Because that's like that. I usually get those in like packs of 3 for like 10. But that's not.
Dude,
that's not that crazy.
I have not been able to find any reasonable price. What I would expect to pay for, even like different size pads of paper, like what I would expect to pay for something like a little memo book, or like it's weird. I guess it's just been a long time since I bought stuff like that. I don't know, but it was surprising to me. I'm like, I guess trees are dead. I guess, they can't print any more paper. This is the last of the paper in the world here. That's why it's, worth more than the price of gold.
Mhm. That's really bizarre. Like I do buy it. I have bought paper routinely for years. I haven't noticed that. Maybe I was just, I don't know, maybe I didn't pay attention or something.
Yeah.
That reminds me, there is this thing in the in the Dark Tower series about how paper is like really rare and valuable and more more highly sought after than other stuff. Anyway, that's what that reminded me of.
Well, I ended up not buying anything there, any paper, but what I did find interesting was a pen that not only had a like a light on it, like you press the button, it has like a blue light, but it also was a laser pointer.
Oh.
Yeah. And it had a warning on there that's like, don't shine this in your eye. So I'm like, cool, it's a good kind of laser, the kind you can get hurt with. Right. Not like a wimpy like red light,
Yeah.
I want to, something that'll
burn your eye out.
So I got that, and I guess how much that was.
All right, with the laser thing, like I'll say like $5.
$2.99.
Damn.
I know. I didn't get it. I didn't get it either. I had to buy it. It was $2.99.
That's weird.
I'm like, a pen and a light and a laser pointer? Shoot. Yeah.
So that's cheap, but the paper's really expensive.
Dude, I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It was CVS, which I think would be higher than most places.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's LA.
Right.
I wouldn't expect to pay more.
But that's outrageous. I mean, that's still not, even accounting for that, it just shouldn't be that much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, there was a long intro story.
Okay. All right, so paper might cost a lot. I'm going to pay attention next time I'm...
Check your local paper distributors, folks.
Yeah. Next time I'm out, I'm going to look, because...
Yeah. I want to go look at, like, a school. I want to go see what an office supply store would charge.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely cheaper if you buy it when it's back to school time.
Yeah.
That's the best time to buy it, but... So, like, now
I don't even know when is back to school, like spring?
August.
It's been so long, I don't even know when it is anymore. Isn't it during the summer when they go back to school? I don't remember.
Wow.
I don't remember. So True Blood. Let's start there.
Oh yeah. So we did this series about the end of season 2, and we got right up to the second to last episode, and then didn't quite do the ending. So I guess we'll do that now.
Better late than never.
Just for completeness' sake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the season ended, and
all right, good podcast.
What else can we say? I wish I remember exactly what we were speculating about on the previous podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it was wrong, I think.
Yeah, here's a couple things. So the first big thing to say, I think, about the finale is, the fact that everything kind of just grinded to a halt. Like, it seemed like the story was going to crescendo.
Mm-hmm.
It revved up really, really, it was like a roller coaster, and it went, all the way up, and it kept going up and up and up and up and up, and then when we got to the top, that was the end of the ride. It just leveled off very slowly. And so that was a little disappointing, I think, I thought they were going to bust in there fighting, everyone had a gun, and somebody was going to be the big showdown, but they had this other whole, they wanted to show the, the wedding and the whole ritual, and they had this big first part before all the climax, so. But, one of the big things we were speculating, the first thing, that comes to mind is it was just an ostrich egg.
Right.
Sometimes an ostrich egg is just an ostrich egg.
Yeah, there was nothing crazy. I mean, it's weird to have an ostrich egg, but it's, I'll get you an ostrich egg.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Apparently, you can get them at your local store. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just part of the ritual. They did some kind of, half-ass explanation of why I was there. The other thing that was pretty lame was Jason and Andy's rescue mission, which
very lame.
Which basically took them in. They got like into the lawn, and then the black guy thing happened, and that was it. That was the end of that. After all that build up, they really got nothing done at all.
Mhm.
And they really weren't very helpful. And so I agree. It just seems like the thing that would have been sort of the climax for this, they weren't going to show. So they were stuck with just I mean, because the town had this like apocalypse and
they didn't. Basically, they set up, Andy and Jason. They were going to shoot their way to victory.
Yeah.
But they didn't want, they didn't want them killing half the town.
Yeah.
Plus, it was just, it was. I don't know. It was one of those things where that's kind of what they did the whole episode was defuse everything.
Yeah, and that was another thing I didn't like. Like when in the previous episode, that lady, whatever her name is, when she cut off her finger, when Sookie walks into the house, like at the time I thought, well, that's gonna really suck when you come out of this like trance you're in and you realize you cut your own finger off. But I was like, she's stuck with that. But they actually went so far as to like say that, they took her to the hospital and like reattached her finger, and so there was like no, she didn't have to live with the consequences of doing that.
Yeah, and again, that's the big overall thing they did with everything is they tried to reset everything.
Yeah.
As much as they could, and everyone, no one remembers anything.
Yeah.
And all that, that was really convenient. It was all these like conveniences. And I think that was surprising for most people I talked to about it. Was it just seemed like, they were going to really have to deal with all this, what happened, and rebuild the town. And it's just like, most people forgot, and her fingers reattached, and
Yeah. Yeah, it's like there weren't consequences.
Yeah.
And
I think those people should remember what they did. That would be interesting.
Yeah, like I feel like that lady should just not have that finger anymore.
Yeah.
And like that's just, I mean it's not exactly her fault, but it's at least some kind of like real, consequence of this crazy shit happening. Which it seems like there should be, something like that.
Maybe that's how they explain like the power of the Maenids and how they're like not caught or something. Because no one remembers after their craziness is over. How lame is that? Yeah.
No, I mean that it. With what we saw here, if she was going around doing this, like, that would have to. I mean, if they didn't forget, it seems like that would have to like create a big issue. Just like taking over a whole town like this. And they didn't really explain, like, like they suggested that she's done this for, since a long time ago. Trying to summon the god or whatever, but they didn't really explain what the outcome was, like what it was like when she did that, and
what was like.
Well, in terms of the people that she would like, possess or infect or whatever, like basically what people thought about her, like what they knew, like there's all this vampire stuff out there because of what vampires did, but like it seems like nobody knows about these Maenads. Like they had to discover stuff about them.
Yeah.
But if she's been doing this the whole time. Like it just seems like at some point, some kind of rumors or ideas about them would start to circulate.
Yeah. Well, I think they try to allow for that with, you know, different cultures calling her different things.
Yeah.
You know, and I you know, I think some things would manifest, but it would become, you know, they wouldn't attribute it to Manus because they wouldn't know that word. They wouldn't, you know, Marianne probably, I don't think she called herself that.
Right.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird how I think that was my biggest complaint, is that they kind of just, instead of making the characters, you know, really namely Sookie and Jason, like, actually have to be proactive, they kind of just got into these weird, like, you know, subordinate positions where, you know, Sookie just had to do whatever Marianne said for half the episode, and and Jason was under the spell, the influence or whatever, so.
Yeah, and so it just came down to Sam and Bill's plan. Which wasn't that much. I mean, you know.
Well, no, I mean, their plan was good. I mean, their plan was what we knew it was going to take. I mean, that's what they said. How do you kill her? Well, you got to make her think she is ready to die, basically.
Yeah.
And I thought they pulled that part off pretty well. You know, that part was fine for me. You know, and he shows up as the bull or whatever, which is like, you know, luckily that was okay for her.
Yeah.
I feel like he lucked out on that. But that tied into the whole thing that, you know, her God never came. So, like, you know, is self-absorbed as she is and self-deluded as she sort of is, I think it makes sense that when she sees this bull, she assumes she wants to believe that that's Dionysus, so she does believe it. You know, even though a rational person would consider, I think.
It just it's plausible, and for them it's not a bad plan. For me, I just didn't like it as a way that she died. Like, to me, she seemed like a better villain than that. Like, I just thought she deserved a better death than that. Because once it was over, it was just, you know, it just seemed like a letdown.
Well, it was a thing where they couldn't kill her any other way.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been cool if they had found out some way to kill her, but I think they're just trying to go for using her power against her.
Yeah.
Which works, but it's you know, it's, yeah, I'm on the same page with you. It wasn't as, you know, I don't know. I liked it. I liked how it worked out, but it still wasn't the best thing ever.
Yeah, I guess it just, I don't know. I thought it would be more spectacular. I mean, the whole climax in general, I thought would be more spectacular.
Yeah.
Than it was. It kind of just, yeah, like the metaphor you set up, like, just got to the top and just stopped. Just never really delivered. So, yeah, and then there was this stuff with the Queen, more of the Queen and the Yahtzee.
Oh, man. I can't believe I think I remember saying on one of the podcasts, like, that, you know, when Eric got in there, you know, was it going to just be more Yahtzee?
Yeah.
Something like that. I was really surprised that it was really kind of, for the most part, like, more Yahtzee.
That was exactly what it was.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, let's play some more Yahtzee, guys.
They just sat there and played Yahtzee.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't believe we were watching that. The only thing that we really got out of that, I think, was that she's behind the selling the V thing.
Yeah, no, that's a topic of conversation, I think, because I think it's going to bleed directly to next season, obviously.
Yeah, apparently so.
Since, you know, it won't be in season 1 or 2.
Right.
They can't write that way.
No, they can't go back to the past and change what they've already done.
They really can't.
It'd be really weird, though, if we went back to watch season 1 and it was all about that.
Yeah, and it was like different.
Yeah.
Yet somehow we knew about the original season 1.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you had a theory about that and about the ending and stuff.
Did I?
I think so.
I always have a theory about something.
But yeah, let me just see if there's something else I want to say about all this.
Well, I think it was interesting with the Queen. What were the factors? Like, she's selling the V. She has Eric selling the V, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then what else? Oh, that's right. And then Bill. Oh, so this ties into the whole thing about Bill getting kidnapped at the end.
Oh, yeah, that was your theory.
So my theory was basically that, whoever kidnapped Bill was probably a vampire, because you got to be strong enough.
Mhm.
And we saw that the person who had the silver choker chain or whatever, was wearing gloves. If you're a vampire, you want to do.
Right.
And you probably need to be a vampire to sneak up on Bill.
Right.
And so I don't think it's Eric necessarily, but probably Eric sent somebody
Mhm.
to get Bill. But
yeah.
I'm curious to see why the Queen is selling the blood. I don't have any big theories about that, unless she's trying to. I think maybe the theory I had was she was trying to circumvent the political agenda or whatever. Like she doesn't want humans, vampires, like she's anti the vampire legislation that other lady's trying to do. I think that was my theory.
Oh. The what's her name from that goes on TV and stuff?
Yeah, her maybe the Queen wants to be have humans buying the vampire blood so that she can say, hey, look at what they're doing to us or something like that.
Oh,
she's trying to set something up like that.
I see.
Because I can't imagine she needs it for the money.
Right, that was my theory. She just wants the money.
You stopped at the first thing you thought of.
Yeah. Well, originally I thought it was Eric wanting the money.
Yeah.
But then when I found out she was doing it, I was like, well, I guess she wants the money.
Someone wants the money here, all right?
Yeah, it's. I just feel like it's got to come down to the money in the end.
Well, it always does in America.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really believe that theory's too lame to be true, but it was all I had. I think your theory is probably right. It's at least plausible. I think the whole thing about Bill being kidnapped, I can't quite see a good reason why they would do that. But your evidence about the gloves does suggest it's a vampire, so I think that's probably right. But it doesn't seem like this V thing would be enough of a reason for that. Because she made Eric promise not to tell Bill. If they were just going to turn around and kidnap Bill, then
promise to tell Bill?
Promise not to tell Bill.
That she's behind it.
Right.
I wonder if it's going to be one of those lame things where it's just a psych out and it's Eric kidnapping him just so he could talk to him sternly or something.
Oh, they kind of did that the first season. They faked us out with that.
Mhm. I wonder if it might just be, it might be an ostrich egg, if you know what I mean.
Mhm. Yeah, you might be right. Because the cliffhanger from the first season was not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
In terms of this season, so it may very well just be a little thing like that. And they just cut to Bill, and then they have some kind of talk, and and that's it. And there's still all that stuff with Sookie and Eric and all that drama.
Yeah. Ugh. All that.
Still don't understand what Hoyt's mom was talking about.
No.
Don't know what the fuck that stuff. She never made it over there either. She made that like casserole, but she never went to the house.
Mama?
She just.
Mama, ain't nobody gonna eat that. I love that line. Oh, Hoyt. Ain't nobody gonna eat that, Mama. Mama, you just wasted good food. Yeah, Hoyt and his whole little. It's weird how Hoyt is part of sort of the they focus on him quite a bit.
Yeah.
He was never one of the big main characters, but
yeah,
they definitely gave him his little time for his story.
Yeah, no, he got him and Andy got a lot more time this season.
Yeah.
Than in the first one. And yet, like, this whole thing with his mom was like an excuse to delve into his background and his family history and
my
like really
a hero.
What?
My daddy's a hero.
Oh, God.
He doesn't stop the burglar.
And it's just weird that they used, his mom having the black eyes as like, as a device to like have Hoyt find out about his past.
Yeah.
And like it didn't matter. And then she said all those cryptic things, but it sort of didn't matter that she was possessed like that because she really just hung out in the house the whole time.
Mhm. Yeah, it was just an excuse for her to say the stuff she would never ever tell him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, damn it, Mama. I'm a character? You done made me a character in a Tennessee Williams novel. Damn it, Mama, keeping me locked up here and wanting me to be your son all this time. I'm a damn cliche, Mama. Oh, Hoy, why won't you say that?
It's true, though.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, Jason was just disappointing. I really wanted him to be able to do more, but he really got nothing done in this episode.
No, there was nothing. There's nothing much for him to do. So the other big thing was Sookie and her. We saw her do her power thing again when she pushed over the statue thing Marianne built. Remember that?
Oh yeah, right.
She used her chi or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something they'll probably definitely get into more later.
Probably definitely.
They didn't really do that much with it this season. Well, I was gonna say probably, and I was like, of course. There's no probably.
I think they probably definitely will.
Yeah. So most of the characters sort of reconcile with what they did and kind of get back to normal. Andy gets his job back, and Arlene, whatever the fuck her name is, and Terry.
Darlene?
It's Arlene.
Arlene?
You always call her Darlene, and I think I caught that somehow.
Get the vaccine for it.
Yeah. There should be. They reunite with their kids and sort of make up with them, and the woman got her finger back, and so it seemed like pretty much everybody was okay except for the one character who ain't going to be coming back next season. Eggs.
Marianne. Oh.
Well, yeah, Marianne as well, but she's dead at this point.
Those eggs.
So he's got this, they tried really, it seemed like they tried really hard and yet not very hard to convince us that he was so distraught. Like first he didn't know what he did, but he knew it was bad. And then, to convince us that he just was like obsessed with finding out what he did and kind of going crazy thinking about it, and then eventually he gets Sookie to like help him remember, and then when he remembers, he sort of really goes crazy, and then it sets up this whole scene where he like confronts Andy, and he's carrying.
If Sookie ever wants, she can get a job on a cable drama using that power of hers to like probe people's minds.
Mhm.
That's a whole TV show right there. Mhm.
Mhm.
She's a psychologist, and that's what she does.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's just about that.
If she ever wants to leave Baltan, she can have a whole TV show based on that.
Mhm. Every week, like somebody comes in and she's got to like read their minds and figure out the mystery or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probe deeper and deeper.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let me in. Sookie.
So anyway, this scene here was, well, the scene I'm describing was one of the least convincing scenes in this episode, I thought, where he confronts Andy with the knife, and
it was bad.
And they're really trying to sell the idea that, he feels really guilty about it, but he's sort of like on the edge and like threatening Andy with the knife while being upset that he's killed people.
Mhm.
Like it was a weird line to walk.
It was a very fine line because as soon as it happens, you see what they're setting up.
Yeah.
You're just like, why is he being so overly threatening? And then of course, like you said, he starts threatening, then he pushes him down, which made no sense.
Mhm.
I just think it lacked finesse. Really, like I understand they had to do, it's nothing wrong with what their goal was, but I think they needed to finesse that a little bit more. And then Jason like shoots him from off screen and shoots him in the head, of course.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it would have been a lot better for me. All they had to do is change one thing, is make it like just make it seem not so. Well, they wanted Jason to be the bad guy. Like, it would have made sense if Andy would have shot him.
Mhm.
But they wanted to fall on Jason. I think they should have finessed it a little bit more. It was a little too like cut and dry.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely. I mean, it felt too much like they were just, cleaning up.
Mhm.
It didn't play like convincing drama.
Yeah.
It was just like, we got to get rid of this character. We're going to set up this thing with Jason, and boom, it's over.
What they should have done, and that's the thing, they played it for the surprise, too.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the thing they can't do, is have a contrived scene and try to play a surprise on us.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think it may have been better if they set up the scene with him confronting Andy and being distraught, and he's got the knife, and then, Andy tries to get the knife from him, and there's a little toss because Eggs sort of is distraught. He puts the knife, and that's his he's just sort of out of his mind. He's not thinking straight, and so in this tussle, that's not that bad. Jason sees that and then shoots.
Mhm.
But we see that from Jason's perspective. We don't really know what's going on with Andy. I don't know. I feel like the perspective should have changed.
I see.
So that we get a sense. Because since we saw the whole confrontation from the beginning, we knew what was going on.
Right.
So we knew it wasn't any cause for Jason to shoot.
Right.
But if we were from Jason's perspective, him walking into the situation, then he shoots, then we think, okay, maybe he did something good, and then they reveal, oh no, that he wasn't really threatening. I feel like that might have worked better. Yeah. Than us just seeing this contrived thing, they show us the beginning. Eggs comes, he's a little freaked out. We don't know what he's gonna do. Andy tries to calm him down. Then we cut to interior of Malat's. We see something with Jason. Then when Jason comes out, he sees them wrestling, and he's got the knife on him or whatever.
Right.
And then we don't know any more than Jason.
Right.
You know, we saw it build up, so we think, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a writer's critique, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine that playing better. On the other hand, I can imagine the way they did it playing better too, if it were just written and performed better.
Yeah, maybe the actor Eggs. I don't know. Maybe it was him a little bit, like him trying to play that emotion.
Yeah. It seemed. I mean, I couldn't really tell because I also felt like the writing was bad.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line there. But he wasn't really selling it either. Like I was okay with the earlier scenes. Like I thought those worked okay, but when he actually had to like play, like it's a weird thing he's doing in that scene. It's you know, he's trying to be guilty and, you know, supposedly like confess and like turn himself in, but he's also trying to be threatening, or at least like we're supposed to see that he's coming off as threatening.
He's playing like 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, only a small number of actors can pull that off, you know.
Yeah.
To pull off everything he was trying to do. He, you know, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask for.
Yeah.
You know.
It's probably the hardest scene he had to do.
Yeah.
In the whole season, and I just think, you know, I mean, I also think the writing wasn't great, but because I think they were asking him to do stuff that just didn't really work. But he could have done it better as well, and that might have made the scene like actually work.
Yeah.
The thing that was interesting was tying in that whole plot from season 1, with the lady, you know, the exorcist lady or whatever.
So that was the big. That whole thing when we realized that Marianne was sort of summoned by that lady and.
It was even more than that. It wasn't just that she killed her. It was like
no. It was that Tara like summoned her. Or something like that. And that to me was the, you know, to me that's a clear sign of very high quality writing when you can circle back and go, and Marianne is like, look, this is all from the beginning. Like, you know, you get to go back and see that this all sprang forth from that, you know, seemingly like, you know, not innocuous, of course, it was big for the time. But I mean, you know, I guess I should say, like, you know, the effects were ephemeral. It seemed like, okay, well, you know, she was, you know, well, and that was the other thing that was weird, was it kept going back and forth on whether or not she, what was her name? Janine or something?
Yeah.
Janine? That she actually had power or not. And I thought that, I think that was in the last episode, or was that the one before?
Yeah, it might have been the one before. I think, but they sort of returned, or at least referenced it again when Eggs is remembering what he did. Yeah. Because they show her and sort of tie that in.
I think part of the Eggs thing that's weird is even in the scene before that one with Andy, when he's talking to when he's talking to Sookie, is that it was hard for me to really be with him 100% on his mental state. You know, like it's like I just wanted him to get over it already and realize that like he wasn't in control. Like people kept telling him he wasn't in control, but it was like, but it's my hand.
Yeah.
But it's like, but yeah, you know, yeah, it's your hands, but if you know, if you're not actually physically doing it, then what, you know, how are you culpable, you know? And I like the fact that he was questioning that, like, where's the moral line there? But at the same time, it's just like, well, get over it already. Everyone else has.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it just seemed like he sort of had more, you know, blood on his hands than most of the other people.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. Yeah, he was her, you know.
Yeah, he was like her executioner or
You know
something.
what? Here's the thing. That's the other thing I remember that I think would have fixed his whole little ending plot line is we should have found out, like, the fact that he freaked out about that and about the killing, all they had to do to sink this in my opinion, would be to reveal to us that, you know, what sent him to Marianne in the first place, what got him in trouble in the first place, was something similar to that. You know,
yeah.
he you know, was, you know, a young teen, and he, like, you know, was robbing a place with his friends or something, and then something went bad, and he ended up accidentally stabbing somebody. You know what I mean? Something that ties it in to let us know that his mortal fear just came true.
Yeah.
And that's why he can't grip with it. You know, like, the one thing he was running away from this entire time, you know, or whatever, is the thing he's been doing and not knowing. And that seems like the subtext, but, you know, you got to say those things if there's going to be any questions. And if you're trying to sell big things like, you know, what they try to do with eggs at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a subtext, but I think they kept it really vague about what he did. Like
considering,
it was always like, I did bad things, but they never really got specific.
Told us. That's the thing. Like, it was begging for them to do this because they never told us his full backstory. Like, we never found out what was his big thing, and it would have been a perfect place to say, not only is this his big thing, his big backstory character thing, but this is why he's freaking out about what happened with Marianne.
Yeah.
You know, that seems like the natural thing to do, but I think they missed that one.
They did. I mean, yeah, it seems like we should have learned more about how he came to be with Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that seems like a hole in the plot.
Yeah.
You know, especially if they're gonna get rid of the character, I think it would be good to give us a little more about him.
Yeah.
You know, because now it just feels like they just, you know, tossed him away.
Eggs. It's like eggs. We hardly knew yolk.
Oh, God.
Does that work? I don't know if that works.
Barely.
That's a bit of a stretch. Like Jason shooting eggs.
Yeah. 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 Oh, what I was going to say about the tear thing was I thought it was good to tie it in, but I thought the case was closed on that. I mean, to me it was, and in fact, it seems like they agreed sort of that the case, like when she saw her in Walgreens or whatever it was. I mean, you know, I thought that was the punchline to that whole story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, it's like, okay, this lady, she puts on a good show, she knows how to make it look real, but in the end, she's just a lady who works at Walgreens.
That's level 3 writing. That's like good, predictable. Here's the twist. Oh, look, she didn't have any. Yeah. She was just a regular person.
Yeah, and like, and so you basically think, well, then, you know, it was like the placebo effect. You know, they believed that she had some power, and they had problems, and believing that she had some power to help them enabled them to actually deal with their problems.
Yeah.
And like that makes sense. I mean, that's at least something that happens.
That's very satisfactory, and any other show would have stopped there.
Yeah. Yeah, you think, and I really thought that was the end of that. And I always thought it was a bit like disjointed that she got murdered at the beginning of the season, and I didn't think they tied that in very well. It's just like,
I think we didn't realize that, you know, it seemed like they hadn't been talking about who the killer was. But we saw we were watching who the killers were the whole time. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's kind of like a repeat of season 1 in that in that small respect of the murder mystery of who killed her. Yeah. You know, it was like, oh, it's these people we're watching on screen. It's Marianne and Egg. Yeah. I mean, like, there wasn't a lot of focus on trying to figure out who it was. Yeah. But yeah, like, the answer was there the whole time, and we just didn't know it was part of what was going on. It seemed like they were ignoring it, but it's like, well, they're telling us the people who they're showing us the people, you know, the murderers. Right. Yeah, so to me that's why, you know, that kind of thing is, you know, level 4 writing, if you will. It's a step above, like you can, you know, it's more sophisticated, bringing that whole thing in, and the whole consequence of like what she did, like having such a big impact, you know, of Tara just like trying to appease her mother, finding this witch doctor lady, going, having her own moral, arguments and wrestling with herself, and then finally doing it, and then, then everything that happens, and then to find out, like, she brought Mary Ann into town.
Mhm.
So I thought that was really interesting, and the fact that the hints were there, they retconned it. It's like the evidence is there. If you remember that episode, and you can see the black eyes, you can see hints of what's going on.
Yeah. I never would have made that connection. It wasn't until they showed it and just made it totally clear that that's what that was supposed to be.
Yeah. I kind of had an idea before when I realized that they were showing a different aspect of being possessed by a demon.
Mhm.
I remember talking about that, making that connection of Tara dealing with her mom, thinking she's possessed by a demon, making her do things, and Tara thinking she's crazy, but then they basically show us a sort of other version of what it would be like to be under the influence of basically a demon.
Mhm.
And how it's is it so crazy now? This is slowly but surely you're taken piece by piece. But then then she was made to do all kinds of crazy things. So
Mhm.
so I thought they were just sort of being clever or whatever by showing a different using that to parallel on a subtext level. But then they were like, no, this is a demon.
Mhm.
Here she is.
Yeah.
Her name's Mary Ann.
I think that in the final verdict was still that the lady didn't have any powers.
Yeah.
But she did summon Mary Ann.
So that's what was weird is it was like she didn't technically have powers, but she did call forth that power.
Yeah.
So it seems like, okay, well, what does it mean to have power then?
Right.
Because if you do a rain dance and it rains, you might not actually, have any power, but you kind of did just make it rain.
Right.
Can you do it again 100 times is the question. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what was weird is it seemed like she just hit the jackpot, I guess.
Yeah.
But they played that pretty well. I mean, they didn't ever make it seem like Miss Janine was scared about what had happened. Because I'm assuming, that whole pasta thing or whatever, like, that was the first time that really happened like that.
Mhm.
Because Mary is actually there.
Right.
So, I'd imagine she was freaked out, too. And maybe she was. I forgot that scene. Maybe she did kind of play it that way. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really remember it either.
But, hello?
Yeah?
Did you hear that?
Yeah? Hear what?
There's a little noise on the line, maybe.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Sounds like a voice of some sort.
That's weird.
What else was in this ep?
I have to bring up the scene where they're in Merlot's and Andy's ranting and raving, and then and then one of the other, I think it's a lady who got her finger cut off, her finger, I should say, who says, I'll have what Andy's having or whatever, and he's like, it's Diet Coke with lime. And then they cut to the glass, and you see it's something that looks like Diet Coke, but it has a lime wedge on the glass. And I can't believe this still bothers me, but it does. I'm like, okay, is it Diet Coke with lime, or is it Diet Coke with lime, TM, the actual product, and it has a lime wedge?
Well, on top of that, I want to also add that the other booth had Mountain Dew, and Sam was pitching it as like the official drink to drink because you can't trust the water anymore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And they were pouring Mountain Dew out of this huge pitcher, which looks really weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume those were 2 bits of product placement, and I think they were being clever with the Diet Coke with lime, and that that the product is that I think they have a product. I know they have Coke with lime, and I'm assuming they have Diet Coke with lime.
They do.
So I'm assuming they're just making the connection that he had a glass of Diet Coke with a lime, and that was his Diet Coke with lime.
Oh, okay.
And they're being clever in how they do the product placement.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Diet Coke with lime in the glass, and then it had a lime wedge.
Yeah, that just seems like that's going too far.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
But the fact that they showed, like, when he said that, I assumed he meant, like, the actual product, Diet Coke with lime.
Mm-hmm.
But since they showed the lime wedge, then it's like, okay.
I think that was the wink.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I started to wonder, like, if anyone actually orders Diet Coke with a lime wedge.
Yeah, that's what was interesting is I'm like, that sounds like it'd be refreshing somehow. I'm like, yeah, why not? Why don't I get my soft drinks with wedges of different fruits?
Yeah.
Apparently it's something you can do.
Yeah, it made me wonder if, like, people actually ordered that a lot and then Coke caught on, and that's why they started offering it, pre-flavored.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's how, like, cherry Coke and vanilla Coke sort of came about. So I was wondering if it was something like that, like people just realized that it was good with lime. I don't think I've ever had a lime wedge in a soda before.
No, it sounds like a new form of paradise.
It kind of does.
Or maybe I'm just thirsty right now.
Wow. It's a bold statement.
An entirely new form of paradise.
So yeah, that of course, the other point of that scene was that Andy's not drinking anymore.
Yeah. You know what? If they go, I just love that. I just love that scene when he's like takes his last drink and he's like, I'm not drinking anymore. I forgot what did he see? I forgot what happened in that scene.
Oh, I did too.
Something crazy happened.
Yeah.
I just like that he vowed to not drink him anymore. And I just want to see how far they go with that.
Yeah, I mean that was his arc basically this season.
Yeah.
Going from basically being mocked and like wallowing in his misery and eventually actually getting kicked off and then being like this, rogue guy living in a motel and, having no life at all to, like, trying to be a hero and not really succeeding, but still managing to, like, get back his old life.
Yeah. I hope they don't pull a Jason, though, because, Jason made it kind of reminds me of that whole thing where Jason was like, earlier this season where Jason was like, all right, I just got through with this whole, Fellowship of the Sun bull crap. And what I realized is I need to think first before I act. And then, of course, 2 minutes later, he forgot about that. So.
Yeah. The time for thinking is over, yeah, I think was a quote.
Yeah, the time for thinking is over. You gotta love that. Whoever says that, is really is a bold person. Whoever can, if someone actually has to say that, make that statement, in any situation, like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Because it means, people think you should be thinking, and you're like, no. No, it's over. It's done now.
I know you're probably thinking right now, but let me tell you.
Time for that's over. No more thinking.
Yeah. So then there's this last scene, which, basically everything after, the episode as a whole I found unsatisfying. And then I found it unsatisfying how they resolved the Marianne thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found it unsatisfying how they sort of, what were you calling it, reset everybody. And then they, they have this last scene where Bill proposes, and there's all this drama, and then it ends with the kidnapping that we talked about. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like a natural, progression of a story. But I didn't even like this last scene. Like it was just not the way I wanted to cap the season off.
It was definitely. I don't want them getting married.
Yeah.
I don't. That's not. Let's not. It seems too soon.
It does, exactly.
It seems too soon, and I think, I mean, I guess they'd have to say, or they at least should say, it's because he feels threatened by Eric that he feels that he's got to stake his claim.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, this is weird. I didn't expect him to be engaged ever.
Yeah, and it just seemed kind of sudden after the insanity that just happened.
Yeah. Well, it was some weeks later, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did they have a
Oh, did they put up a title card? I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like they. I feel like they did because the lady's finger was done, and they had other. Didn't something else happen? I don't remember.
Let me see if I can find that.
I feel like it was 4 weeks later or something, or.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the scene before was Eggs getting shot. Oh, I kind of forgot that Andy took credit for it. And then Jason runs away.
Yeah.
Andy takes the gun and wipes it, to wipe the fingerprints off, and then just says he did it.
Yeah.
Kind of forgot about that. I was too focused on what had just happened. I wasn't really paying attention to the, all the
details,
mechanics. Yeah, the details going on.
I think which basically means Tara's going to find out Jason did it.
Yeah.
And that'll be a huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the main reason they would have Jason do it.
Yeah.
Because they cut right over from that to Sookie and Bill at dinner.
Oh man!
Because he sent her that thing, and it was right. I mean, I get the impression this is pretty soon.
No. I mean, after the Marianne thing, I thought they cut.
Oh, after the Marianne thing.
When they get to Marlotte, it's already been some time.
Yeah, you're right.
Her fingers is healed.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Is this it right here? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, they don't do a title card, but they do a fade in where it seems like some time has passed.
Good old fade.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the impression it's been a couple weeks. It still seems too soon to me, though. I mean, I don't know. With all the chaos that...
Hey, love doesn't have a timeline. That's the new tagline from Love Clock. The new the new romantic comedy with Ben Stiller and Miley Cyrus. Love Clock.
Love Clock.
Yeah.
Wow.
A hapless scientist / professor invents a time machine that makes him younger to woo one of his students.
Oh, okay.
Played by Miley Cyrus.
I see. Wow.
Love Clock.
Love Clock.
But when he uses it, it actually sends them on an adventure through time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Love Clock.
So it's a romantic comedy and it's also a sci-fi
sci-fi
adventure.
Cross genre.
That's a lot. That's a lot going on.
Yeah. Love doesn't have a timeline.
Yeah, so I don't know. Of course they didn't do it, they're not getting married. There's all this, stuff that happens to prevent it.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think I guess they wanted to end on a big dramatic moment.
So here's my prediction, and if it comes true, Alan Ball has to hire me as a writer.
Okay.
This is off the top of my head what I think something just generally what they would do at this point with Jason. I feel like Tar is going to be upset because Eggs is dead.
Right.
The end. Hire me.
What?
I'm kidding.
Wow, I should be a writer too. I think I could have figured that out.
Hire me, Alan Ball.
Hire me.
Ahead. No, okay. So she's gonna be upset. Then here it goes. She's gonna turn to Jason, right?
Right.
So then all of her feelings are gonna come out on Jason.
Yeah.
And as soon as they get closer, then he's gonna feel guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll get closer.
Yeah.
And the big secret will come out.
Because he does have it takes a while. Usually, he'll probably not say anything for a while, but eventually it'll come out.
Oh yeah, it'll come out.
Yeah, and then that'll be a whole big fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems about right. I think Alan Ball should hire you.
Yeah, I think so too. And anyone else who thinks so should write a letter to.
I'd like to hope that he's listening.
I like to hope he's listening too. Maybe jotting notes down.
Yeah. Something like that. That's what I would do if I were him.
I like to think Alan Ball is stealing ideas from us.
Yeah, I do too.
We steal ideas from him.
Well,
but so
yeah,
like I said, my big problem was they tied everything up with a nice neat little bow.
Mhm.
And it was a little convenient. It wasn't as messy as it seemed like it was going to be. Except if you count the cleanup of Grandma's house.
Yeah.
That's going to be a mess.
That did seem like the worst part.
That what?
That seemed like the worst part.
Yeah, no, she really wrecked that place.
Yeah, like that was the only thing I got the impression really was going to be a problem.
Yeah. I do have to hand it to the Bontoners, to the main cast. They managed to take down a Maynard,
Mhm.
It did take, several crafty humans, a couple of vampires, a shapeshifter, and whatever Sookie is to do it. But they got it done.
They did.
Yeah. Bill's little thing of this little thing that they have where like some human or some non-vampire gets injured and the fix is to just have them drink vampire blood.
Mhm.
That's pretty convenient for them.
Yeah.
Because they got through the whole thing with Sam actually getting stabbed.
Yeah.
And all that, and then 5 seconds later he's healed.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But they set that up, so now they get to use it.
Yeah, they get to use it.
Oh, there's the gloves. Yeah, you did, what was I going to say? They did bring up the fact that, the Sookie drank Bill's blood in the first episode.
Yeah, so I'm glad they definitely brought up that whole thing, and, that's along the lines of, them stating that, Dad has been having Eric and all that, just being consistent with their whole mythology with drinking the blood.
Right.
And so that, that Sookie hasn't realized that, you know, she got feelings for Bill the same way she's getting feelings for Eric.
Yeah.
You know. But, you know, that's interesting because I swear, I remember that was one of my early criticisms was Sookie always seemed like she wanted to have sex.
Right.
And I was really confused about that. Like, it just seemed really weird to me that was her thing. And then they had that scene where Bill was like, we could just cuddle. And she was like, no. That is so strange. But then they actually, you know, say that it, you know, it's like a drug or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's addictive or whatever they say. And so I like when they do subtle things like that, but it just, you know, if you don't sit back and think about them, you won't link them together, which I think is bad, you know, because then the person just thinks, okay, that was weird, and they move on, and they never see the link that, oh, okay, she was exhibiting this thing that they won't state until 6 episodes later.
Right.
You know. But it's part of what they're doing, so it works, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, actually, I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it just now.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that comes from, like, analyzing it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, most people I don't think would even realize that. I don't even know if most people thought it was weird how sexed up she was.
Mhm.
You know, but for her to be such a prude in the beginning, like, she got really, you know, all about it.
Right.
And, you know.
Yeah.
But that is part of the whole thing with vampires. They're supposed to be seductive, you know, so it definitely makes sense. It was just weird when they don't say it when we see it. They say it, like, you know, a while later.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, same with Mary Ann, you know, same with that reveal, same with
Mhm.
they did the flashback to when Bill saved Sookie.
Mhm.
She threw that chain on the guy and it wrapped around his neck. So that was the other big thing we found out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That, you know, Sookie is, you know, we've all known this, but it's obviously something else.
Right.
And Mary Ann, what did she ask her? If she ever felt like she had a presence watching over her and something like that. And kind of said yes. So Sookie's starting to question what she is, which is interesting.
Mhm.
I think, you know, my theory, you know, I mean, you know what they say. You know what she is in the book, right?
Oh. No, I don't.
Do you want me to tell you?
Okay.
In the book, basically, she's like a fairy.
Oh.
And I don't know what kind of fairy. I don't presume it's Tinkerbell fairy, but some sort of fairy type of creature, which I think is pretty close to the angel idea.
Yeah. Less religious, but
yeah, less religious, exactly.
But
just
basically the same.
Kind of, yeah. But so that's what she's in the book. I'm assuming the show will probably do that. You know, I'm assuming they're going to say she's, she's got to be some kind of class of creature,
right?
That we've heard of, or that they can explain to us. So
yeah,
whether she was a witch or whether she was whatever, like it's something. So
yeah, that sounds about right.
It'd be awesome if they told us she's Dionysus.
Oh God! Wow.
She didn't even know. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, Mary Ann pops up from the grave and goes, "What?" Then turns back into ashes. That's just... Oh, man. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
No, it won't, but a man can dream, can't he?
I'm Dionysus?
That doesn't make that's crazy.
I really want her to stop saying I'm a waitress. Whenever someone says, "What are you?" I'm a waitress. All right.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't really spend much of this season being a waitress.
That's true.
Like, she must have racked up a lot of vacation days at Merlot's.
Mhm. Yeah.
Gonna call the union and see what her status is.
There you go.
A waitress's union.
Mhm.
I don't know if she worked enough hours to get the health insurance.
I don't know. That's all she is, so she must work there a lot.
I don't know. She's been busy. She was in Dallas for like 2 weeks, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's true. But in the meantime, the town went all crazy. So I don't even think Sam was keeping track of the hours.
Yeah. Oh, Sam.
After a certain point. Yeah, Sam got that whole thing. He got to go, visit his family and stuff.
So that was interesting. That was a big cliffhanger, too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was a
cliffhanger? I couldn't remember how they ended it.
Well, basically, he got a lead on who his real parents are.
Oh, they weren't his real parents.
No, those were his adopted parents. Those were the people who, foster parents or whatever.
That's right.
And then, he kind of ran away from them.
Okay.
And so they were saying that, the mom was saying, I can't tell you who your parents are, we promised or whatever. And then he goes into the room where his, dying foster dad is or whatever, and he scrawls on a piece of paper, I guess. I forgot what he wrote. He either wrote their name or their address or something, and but the mom had, didn't she have a sinister answer or something about, she said something sinister about his parents, I don't know, I forgot what she said. It's been a while.
Yeah,
but
I don't remember what she said either, but that's...
I feel like she said something like they're bad people or something.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to talk to them, they're bad people, or something weird like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought the idea was that they, that's why they had him, that, his original parents weren't taking care of him for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming it's something crazy. I'm assuming his parents are shifters, or at least one of them.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be an interesting story.
Yeah, I guess we'll find that out. I actually thought this might be the end of him this season.
He was up on the... I'm like, they can let go of Sam, I guess.
Yeah. I thought this Mary Ann storyline was sort of his way out.
Mm-hmm. I figured even if he survived, he might just leave town.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But he realized that home is where his name is.
I guess so.
Which is on his building. Where he must be the only restaurant in town.
Yeah, I forgot that they... Yeah, I have no sense of what the town's like. It's weird when they show the part of the, main part of town, because you never see that. Most of you always see, just people's houses and Merlots and
the woods.
I have no... Yeah, in the woods. I have no sense of what that town's actually supposed to be like. But, yeah, I forgot that was a cliffhanger. I remember that he went to visit, but I forgot there was an outcome to that.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see that next season.
Yeah, that'll be his big thing.
Find out what's going on with him. And I think at some point we're supposed to see some werewolves.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they'd pull something like, his dad's a werewolf and his mom, his mom is human or something.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have some explanation of how you become a shifter.
Mhm. Yeah, I could see that.
Something crazy, yeah. Yeah, werewolves should be coming,
Yeah, they've been talking about him for a while. And every season they've sort of shown something new.
Mhm.
So I think we'll probably see that next season.
Little wolf or two?
Yeah, I think so.
What else happened? That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, we covered most of it. I mean, there's that whole thing with, what's her name? Jessica. She goes and
What is she?
feeds on some trucker guy.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know where they're going with that.
She like lied to Bill and said she was gonna go make up with weight.
Mhm.
And then she went to go feed on
Oh,
the
that's right.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Then
so I
Corey
guess that would be
showed
some
up.
kind of problem.
You think that might be a problem?
I guess, yeah.
Feeding on truckers?
Yeah.
Problem, conflict, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. I don't think Bill's going to like it if he finds out.
Man.
Although, he's kidnapped, so I guess it'll be a while before he finds out.
Yeah. He might be spending some time in Eric's dungeon.
Mhm. Oh, God. With the rotating device and the bucket.
Mhm. Oh, the bucket.
What a dungeon, Eric. What a dungeon.
Wait a minute. So that whole thing with Lafayette, weren't those people down there, like, weren't they down there because Eric was trying to figure out who was selling vampire blood or something?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't he, like, doing an investigation or something?
Yeah.
So, if the Queen was supplying the whole time, he knew where it was coming from. So what was that whole thing about?
See, now, I don't think that's true. Like, I think the Queen is a new thing.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I think originally, he was doing a legitimate investigation, but then the Queen decided, like, after that whole thing with Lafayette happened, then the Queen told him to start selling it, and he had Lafayette do it. But I don't think he was doing it, before. I mean, certainly, like, Lafayette's source was not Eric before.
Wait, yeah. But why was he trying to find who was selling V then? Or was he trying to find who killed the vampires in that fire?
Oh, maybe that was the reason.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
They never solved that, did they?
No. I forgot. Yeah, no, they didn't.
Wait. Why isn't that solved?
I don't know.
Because I thought that was solved before he even brought it up.
I did too. I thought we already knew who did it.
Yeah, wasn't that the whole thing? He was holding people there because he was trying to figure out who killed. That's what it was. It wasn't the V thing.
I thought there was a V thing too, though. But maybe that's all it was. Maybe he brought him in because of the V thing, but what he really was interested in was that.
Yeah. I think it was something like that, where he knew to get him because he trafficked and V and.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if they. That was weird.
Yeah,
But still, even the pretense of the V is weird. If the Queen is one of the people who's putting it out there,
Mhm.
Because originally Lafayette was getting it from that gay vampire.
Right.
And I guess maybe other people.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. Yeah, but I think the Queen decided to do that, like, in this season.
Yeah.
And for some reason. And you
don't think she's been selling V this whole time?
No, I don't. I think that's a new thing. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. That's what it seems like to me.
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
That, like, she's got some specific reason. Of course, I thought it was just the money. That's kind of lame, but, like, like more like what you said. Like, there's some strategy that she has in mind.
Yeah.
That gives her a reason to do it, like, now, where she wasn't doing it before.
Mhm. Yeah, I get the sense it was a more longer term strategy, but it's that's just the sense I get.
Mhm. I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess I assume that when Eric comes to Lafayette and tells him to start selling it again, or it's actually the woman, whatever her name is. I guess I assumed that was it. Like, that was prompted by the Queen saying, "Go sell." Like, that nothing had happened before that.
Mhm.
But so you're imagining.
I'm imagining, like, she's been doing it before and having other people sell it, and she just now had Eric start doing it for her.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, that can work.
But, it depends. I mean, we'll see.
Mhm. Yeah. So I mean, overall, a lot of parts of the season were really good, and overall, I would say it was a good season. This last episode was not the best. It kind of just it had a lot of disappointing moments, and it wasn't terrible. I mean, it was decent.
Well, I'll just say it. They pulled a BSG finale.
Yeah, I like the BSG finale better, but I see what you mean.
But just in terms of a disappointing ending, that was moderately well done.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Okay. Good point. Yeah. Yeah. It just didn't deliver on what I thought I could expect.
Yeah.
And in that way, yeah, very similar to the BSG.
Well, you were half thinking Dionysus was going to show up, so your expectations were a bit higher than mine.
You're right. I didn't really think he would. I kind of hoped, but what I was really hoping for was just something. I was hoping for something to happen.
Mhm.
And nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I
think
that was disappointing.
I think that was the point that they set up, that it just nothing ever comes.
I know. But
Did
I
you
thought,
really,
this time it would be different for some reason. Maybe Suki really was the vessel.
Did you really want them to validate Greek mythology?
No, not necessarily validate Greek mythology, but I would want them to validate something. I mean, Marianne did have some kind of power, and I guess I wanted to get a sense that was, that was connected to something.
Wait, why do you think she had some kind of power?
Well, because
that was a joke.
Okay. Woo. All right.
I like that you're about to launch into your 10-part essay on.
I was going to explain why I thought those were powers, and I was like, "Do you not think those are powers? I don't know what to do." All I can say is, if you can make people's eyes turn black and have them do what you want, that's some kind of power that at least I don't have.
Wait, that means you're a lobbyist.
Oh! Wow. Maybe that's the political commentary.
Yeah, that's the political commentary. Yeah, Marianne, Maryland, DC. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's there, guys.
Wow. I'm glad you uncovered that. I had no idea.
Hey, I was an investigative reporter in my previous life.
It's also a very.
That's on my tombstone.
Wow.
That'll be my new thing.
Mhm.
It'll be my tombstone from a previous life. That's what I was.
Right.
A little more macabre for the True Blood podcast.
Ah, okay. It's also getting close to Halloween, so.
It's definitely Halloween time.
It's thematic. I like the idea of it being just one long, satire about lobbyists. I just think that would be great if they did that intentionally.
Yeah, Andy is, Andy and the sheriff are the, they represent the legal system, befuddled and,
right.
It's ineffective, yeah.
Incapable of doing anything to stop it.
You got,
corrupted in the end.
Yeah, corrupted. You got, who else? Who's Jason? Jason's the all-American hero.
Mhm.
Who, try as he may, is easily persuaded, to do something he shouldn't do.
Mhm.
And in the end,
succumbs.
Succumbs.
Yeah. I think you could actually make that theory work.
I think you could too. Yeah, I think it's. An essay is in order here.
Yeah.
And plot out all the characters and their relationship to and what they're saying and doing, and of course the people are mulattoes. Oh man, dude, you could make a whole case with the financial crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole tie in greed and debt with their what the townspeople were doing.
Yeah.
Consuming and Marianne is like
just constantly wanting some kind of sensation and yeah.
Wow, this is pretty powerful stuff they're doing here on True Blood. They're really saying something.
I had no idea.
Yeah. This is our Grace of Wrath.
It's basically like, I was going to say it's like the new American Psycho.
Yeah.
But Grace of Wrath works.
Speaking of American Psycho, guess who Christian Bale sort of based his Patrick Bateman character off of? Guess what actor?
Oh, God, I have no idea.
You could actually, if you think about it, I think you could get it.
Really?
Yeah. Think about who Patrick Bateman really is, and then think about what actor is that. And it's definitely an actor you know. It's
okay.
I really think you could get it.
Can I get a hint?
Think about Patrick Bateman. Think about what he looks like. Think about his relative age. Think about his personality. Think about how he interacts with people.
Okay.
Think about how he comes off.
Yeah.
That's your hint. It's Patrick Bateman. And what actor has a personality that might fit that of a serial killer, and you wouldn't know it? But you kind of you could sense it.
I have no idea.
All right, if you want me to tell you, I'll tell you, and you're going to feel really bad.
I know I will, but I really can't think of anybody.
This is someone who's been in movies you like.
Oh, Jesus.
By directors you really like. Well, let's put it this way. You own a movie that this actor is in.
I own a movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I only own like 50 movies, so
yeah.
If I can just look.
Who is the most Patrick Bateman like?
God, that seems like something I should know. I can't think of anyone who's like him. I mean, I'm obviously forgetting somebody.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Big actor. This is a big name actor.
Damn. Yeah, no, not really. Let's see. No. Okay. How can I
You want to buy Val?
I really do want to buy Val. I want my Val to be like how old is this actor? Like
I'm telling you, picture Patrick Bateman and you will see in the face of Patrick Bateman.
I'm just picturing
actor.
Christian Bale. I can't picture anybody else. I don't.
How about this? Think of an actor who could have played this part other than Christian Bale and kind of could be playing himself.
This should be really easy. Okay. Wow.
They're the top 5 male actors in the world. All right, let me put it that way.
Oh no. Okay, but seriously, how old? Like when?
How old?
When did this actor do his?
He's been around. He's been around forever, almost.
He's been around forever.
Well, not forever, but a long time, since the 80s.
Since the 80s.
Dude, I'm telling you, top 5 actor in the world. There's
the
only
people
5
who are
movies.
coming to mind when you say that have to be wrong.
Okay, who's coming to mind?
Like the first person that pops in my head when you say that is Robert De Niro.
No, not
Which
De
I know
Niro.
is wrong.
Oh.
And then I think, okay, Jack Nicholson?
No.
Didn't think so.
No, think box office wise, not necessarily other categories of top
think
5
box
actors.
office. So this
Think,
isn't. But you said I like this actor.
oh yeah, but I'm still saying think box office. Think big celebrity.
Tom
big
Cruise.
time. Tom Cruise.
It immediately hit me.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, he could so play that part.
Totally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so obvious.
So obvious.
He just never entered my mind. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so I saw this little article. Apparently, Mary Herron, who directed the movie, I guess there was some article or I don't know, somewhere she said this recently, something that just came out, where she said that's what Christian Bale told her or whatever, that he sort of based the part off of Tom Cruise.
Wow.
That I think he had met him or whatever, or saw him on something, and he said it was that the friendliness of him, but with like deadness in the eyes.
Yeah.
Like nothing behind the eyes. And that's Tom Cruise.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Wow. I never realized how Tom Cruise like Patrick Bateman is.
Dude, I'm telling you, he.
Yeah, I didn't
much
make that. I never made that connection, and now it seems like really obvious. But
it seems like Patrick Bateman should have been named Tom Cruise.
yeah,
Especially considering in the book Tom Cruise makes a cameo.
That's right. He actually meets him in the book, like an elevator or something. Yeah, that was a weird scene. Yeah, so it's probably even intentional.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Yeah, I thought that was like totally fitting. I'm like, of course he did.
Wow. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's perfect. It's weird though, because he's like, for the most part, he's played pretty mainstream, straightforward roles. And doesn't he sort of has that image now because of the whole like Scientology thing and jumping on Oprah's couch, and
it was more like, I think it was, he's weird behind the scenes, like not on film. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, he's kind of strange. And I think over time that sort of people saw that, like.
Yeah.
It got like, okay, you're a little much.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess they were aware of it when they made that movie, because that was before a lot of the like Tom Cruise crazy stuff had happened.
Yeah, it could just be some sort of coincidence. I mean, he may have just wanted Cruise in the book.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he was an interesting, kind of celebrity during that time.
And there's a couple of other cameos in the book too.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about books. You can just throw like outrageous cameos in them, and you don't have to like get the actual person.
No.
I love that. Like there's a concert I remember. I forget who it was. Somebody pretty famous in the book, and he has that weird experience at the concert where I think he thinks they're talking to him or something, or maybe I just dreamed that. I don't remember. Something happens. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I feel bad about Christian Bale though. He's just.
I was just gonna lament Christian Bale.
I'm glad we're on the same page. It's just like,
he really had potential. And he's just turned into something that I don't know what to do with.
Yeah, he just got on this big action path.
Yeah.
And he's, I think he's better at character stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he just, when he plays those parts, I haven't seen Terminator 3, 4, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
I didn't see it either.
But in the Batman movies, he just kind of disappears into the part. Like he doesn't really make an impression. And it's really the other characters who stand out.
What's his name? I see his face. Two-Face?
No. Who?
I forgot his name. Who's the guy who played Two-Face? And the second Batman?
Aaron Eckhart.
Dude, Aaron Eckhart. Talking about making an impression. His first scene in that movie was one of the best, first scenes from a character I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He was just on fire. That whole intro, the way they did the whole thing. He was 10 times more interesting than Batman was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what's weird is Christian Bale, he puts on that costume and he becomes something different, which is interesting, but it's like, it's like he's trying to blend into the shadows all the time.
Yeah, and he does that awful voice,
and
it's just, you got to spend time, but, out of the costume, he's boring.
Out of the costume, he's boring, and that's the thing. Bruce Wayne is supposed to be really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was watching the original, Michael Keaton made Bruce Wayne a fairly interesting character.
Yeah.
Reasonably, much more so than Christian Bale did.
Yeah. And he made him interesting, but he's got to have that dark twist to him.
Right. Yeah, Christian Bale basically played him like a really boring Patrick Bateman, Patrick Bateman without all the things that make him good.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, it's just like a lifeless Patrick Bateman.
Yeah. Patrick Bateman who never developed any personality.
Yeah. Because that was the thing. It was Patrick Bateman tried to, he was, trying to artificially create his personality.
Right.
But this was Bruce Wayne, just doesn't try.
Right.
He's like, no, I'm too rich for that.
Yeah. But Patrick Bateman had, he had things that he cared about. He was an empty human being, but he had these weird quirks, and he really cared about certain things that it's hard to relate to.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff about the various shampoos and facial scrubs and the business card layouts and.
Well, he was always trying to present the image, and that's why he cared about all that stuff. This is I do this, and his whole big routine and.
But he cared about it to such an obsessive degree that it was interesting.
Yeah.
Because it got down to the really fine detail. And his music opinions are my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just love his music reviews. They're fantastic. Because they almost sound like legitimate reviews.
Yeah.
But they're kind of insane.
Yeah, they're definitely insane. Yeah, it's a particularly interesting thing. It's his whole and he's telling it to people who just don't give a shit.
Yeah, and he's really enthusiastic about it. I really feel like that scene when he's about to kill Jared Leto, and
spoiler alert.
Sorry. And it is early in the movie. I don't know. Anyway, he, when he puts on the Huey Lewis and the News, and he goes in this long diatribe about what the song's really about and how you should listen to the lyrics, and he gets up into this crescendo, just praising the song. And, like, the climax is him, like, you know, killing Jared Leto with the axe. But, like, Jared Leto's just sitting there like, whatever, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's just, like, rambling to him.
His music reviews, I remember the one about Genesis and Phil Collins moving to the front. Apparently, I just read an article that Phil Collins had some sort of like surgery or something recently, and he like can't play the drums anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty harsh.
I hadn't heard that. Yeah, that is harsh. Wow. Wow.
Harsh in my mellow, man. That's what they talked in the 70s. I know that from TV. The encyclopedia of the 90s. That's what we use to learn. But yeah.
So
that, you know, I don't know if it's too soon, but there's already a really bad Phil Collins Genesis joke now of I can't walk, I can't dance, I can't play drums.
Wow. Damn.
It was just sitting there for me. I had to, you know, it was like the forbidden fruit. It's just sitting there. I just had to pick it.
Mhm.
Pick it off the tree.
Yeah.
It was right there in my face.
Yeah.
Because you know, that was when I was a kid. When that song was out or something. I used to love that song. That was my. I don't know why. I remember seeing the video back in the day, and I'm like, ooh, Genesis. I don't know who you are, but I like this song. It's the old white guys doing stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So what you doing?
Yeah, pretty much it. Yeah, no, I was always when I was a kid, I was a big Phil Collins fan.
Yeah, I think that led me. That was pretty young, and then after that, then I got into Phil Collins, and he's got his stuff.
Like I didn't really distinguish. Like to me, Genesis was Phil Collins too, because I never knew the Peter Gabriel stuff. I actually knew Peter Gabriel as a solo artist.
Yeah.
So I didn't really distinguish. Some of that early Genesis stuff, the stuff that Patrick Bateman calls arty and pretentious, is actually pretty. You know, it's like progressive rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got some pretty fancy like time signature arrangements and stuff like that. It's pretty difficult drum parts, and that's the kind of band. Like they were more like Rush when they first started.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of changed into more like a pop band, more like what Phil Collins did on his own. That's basically what Patrick Bateman says.
Yeah.
More satisfying in a narrower way.
Yeah, he makes a good argument.
Yeah, some of that older stuff is you know, pretty famous drumming wise. Like that's what Phil Collins is known for with the drums.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's why the no drumming is sad.
Yeah. 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 I mean, he is pretty old, but I guess you know, he still could have played for a number of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's wow. So can I just bring up something from Dexter real quick?
Sure, why not?
I know it's like not exactly, we haven't really set this up. Spoiler alert, maybe?
Uh-oh, unprecedented. We're going off script here, guys.
For anyone,
buckle up, folks.
Anyone who hasn't been watching Dexter this season, I'm just gonna throw a spoiler out there.
Uh-oh.
This is just a minor thing. So at the end of the previous episode, not the most recent one.
The one where Dexter dies?
Yeah, the one where Dexter. God.
Spoiler alert. Oops.
Luckily, we spoiler alerted that one.
Oh man.
God, that would
everyone died.
Man, if they did that would be amazing. They just kill off Dexter in episode 3.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Where do we go from here? Who's gonna narrate?
Dexter's dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, Dexter's dad has taken on a weird.
It's a new thing, right?
it's like he's like his imaginary friend or something now.
Yeah, they're using him more and more, which I'll buy because I think Dexter's having more and more problems. Like he's more constrained, all the time.
Yeah.
And so now his dad is having to help him more. I still won't forget all that shit before though about like fuck Harry's code and all that.
Right.
And I don't buy it. Now he's, it's like he forgot all that.
Mhm.
But besides that, they're using him a lot.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I guess they're done with the flashbacks. That was the way they originally used him.
Yeah.
I think it was last season that they started doing this like fantasy sequence thing.
Mhm.
Where they have him talking to Dexter, and really it's just like, he's really Dexter talking to himself.
Yeah.
In the voice of his dad, like what his dad would say. In those or Harry, I guess, not really his dad, or maybe it is. I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't know.
I don't know where they're going with this whole Deborah thing.
I feel like he should be his real dad.
Yeah.
That might explain why he took such a vested interest in him.
Mhm.
And maybe even knew that, maybe Dexter's grandfather, had mental health issues or something.
Mhm.
Or the dad knew that it ran in the family or
yeah.
Whatever, some extra little detail about that, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. But can I say, Michael C. Hall's a good actor.
I agree.
He makes a lot out of what they give him,
Mhm.
And he's really good. I forget if it was episode 3 or 4, but I was just watching him like, yeah, you're really good.
Mhm.
And then I thought about his old 6 Feet Under days,
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I can't believe like, definitely two different characters.
Yeah, initially I thought they were kind of the same, but I think by now he's really made Dexter a different thing.
Yeah, he's definitely got a different thing.
I can distinguish him, and for me, he's definitely he's definitely Dexter now. I completely don't think about 6 Feet Under anymore.
No.
When I see him, when the show first started, that was a big problem.
Yeah.
Because I'd just come off watching 6 Feet Under, but I agree, he's really good. He's had a lot of good moments this season, actually.
Mhm.
I mean, it's been pretty good overall. But the thing I wanted to bring up was the ending of episode 3, where he breaks the security lights and Rita sees him.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was just me, but when I saw that, it was one of the first times where I just thought, oh, come on, what's the big deal? He can explain that.
Mhm.
Like they played it like that was some big thing, but I immediately, since they ended on it.
I thought what they were trying to tell us by the way they ended on that, I thought the big idea was, oh no, she's going to think he's the guy who's been vandalizing the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's what I thought the big reveal was, because I think, that's fairly worthy of a ending of an episode. I thought, like, okay, now he's got to, now she's going to be watching him closer, or whatever the repercussions of, she's going to think he's been doing this the whole time. But that's not what they said, right? They were
she did what, see, that didn't even occur to me. I thought they were saying, like, this was just going to make her suspicious of Dexter.
Mhm.
But I didn't even buy that. Like, what I thought was what they did with it was where it's just, she just takes it as a sign that he's stressed out, and so she takes the kids and, like, leaves for a few days.
Mhm.
Like, it turns into a good thing.
Yeah, it turned into this good thing. Yeah, it was weird. I thought they were trying to, I thought the big thing was, that she was going to think, because the whole episode was about who's the vandal.
Yeah.
And, we know who it is,
Actually, I didn't know who it was. They actually surprised me.
Oh, that it wasn't the son?
Yeah, that it was actually the dad.
Yeah. I like how they did that because it was topical.
Right.
With him being pushed to the brink because he's losing his house and all this shit. And,
yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. And he's like, I'm just gonna go break their stuff. These fucking rich people. Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. I sort of, it was a little bit comical, but I liked how they established the atmosphere of the neighborhood, of just setting up the neighborhood watch, and
I wish
he couldn't move around like he was used to doing.
No, yeah, I think the way that they have the kind of constraints they put on him this season have been really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, not just the baby, but the whole different aspects of his new domesticated life. I think have been pretty interesting fodder for their conflict. So,
Yeah.
But I was gonna say something about something. So I shouldn't try to keep two thoughts in my head at once. Something before about we were talking about the vandal. Oh, you're talking about. Oh, I was gonna say. I feel like I missed them moving into this new neighborhood.
Yeah, well, they didn't show it. That was in the.
That's weird to me. Like, I feel like because it looks like their same house.
Yeah, it's not, but yeah.
I don't know what their old house looked like, so to me, it looks like their same house.
I can tell it's different, but it kind of looks similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's bright and sunny, and it's in a suburb. It looks like the same house.
It looks different. It looks different from the outside. That's That's where I can really tell.
Yeah, but it's like it's really weird to me that they're making a whole big thing about their new neighborhood, but we never saw them actually move in.
Right.
So to me, there's always this disconnect when they try to tie things together with their new neighbors, or because I'm like, oh yeah, you guys are new. That's right. Not that these are neighbors who have been there this whole time.
Right. Damn.
Yeah.
Everything okay over there?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Something's going on somewhere. Somewhere in the big city.
The city that never sleeps.
City that never sleeps, Los Angeles.
Yep.
The Big Apple.
The Big Apple. The Windy City.
It's got all the titles. City of Lights, Los Angeles. City by the Bay, Los Angeles.
Gay Paris, Los Angeles.
Gay, yeah. London, England, Los Angeles.
Yeah, I just sort of went with it. There was a time lapse between season 2 and 3 of about a year, I think.
That's the thing. I don't mind the time lapse, but when the time lapse is when what they're showing and talking about involves what was going on in the part we missed, it just keeps reminding me that there's a time lapse. Same with Mad Men. It was just like it skipped forward a couple years, and if it didn't matter, then it's fine. But then it ends up mattering, what happened in that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when they don't tell you that it's been, all they have to do is tell you, X amount of time later. Right.
Yeah, shows don't like to do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't understand that.
It seems like the standard thing is they just start it up and let us figure it out. They had that one line where Deborah tells Lundy it's been 2 years, and I think that's the only way we can really piece together how long it's been.
Yeah.
Based on that, I said, okay, so season 3 was probably, about a year, and so it's probably been about a year since then. Which is about right, because, the baby wasn't born yet at the end of season 3.
Yeah. I will say it's nice we skipped the pregnancy.
I agree. I can do without that.
They did us a favor.
They did, yeah.
So.
We didn't have to go through the childbirth either. That's always good for a cliche.
Yep. They really skipped that big hassle. They skipped most of the hassle.
They did, yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
that was the main reason why I thought that was crappy to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good side of that, I guess. And I sort of don't mind. Like, I kind of think it's cool to just be that subtle about it, but at the same time, it just feels weird because TV shows aren't usually that subtle.
Yeah, I feel like, that's a cable thing. I mean, they're trying to be sophisticated, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like when it's things like that, I don't need you to be subtle about what year it is.
Mhm.
About how much time has changed. It's been X amount of months since the show's been on the air in real time.
Right.
So there's always that time lag in the audience's mind. And it's just like, that's confusing when you come back to a show. Like, okay, well, how long has it been in the show?
Yeah.
And they don't tell you.
Yeah.
And so the whole time you're trying to piece it together, I just feel like that's needless brain work for the audience. Like, why, let us focus on other things, not trying to decode how long it's been.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it took me a while to realize that a lot of time had passed. I was just sort of trying to remember what had even happened the previous season.
It's like you're trying to remember what happened before. You're caught up in what's happening on screen now.
Yeah.
And all the while you're like, what's going on? Because it was like she had the baby, but it was like, what are they doing? Are they going to flashback? Is this, what's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, so far so good, I gotta say.
I think the best episode was the second one, where he's trying to find where he left the body.
Yeah, definitely
after the car wreck. But I've liked all the episodes. That one was just particularly. It was just a really good plot.
Mhm.
And
I just say, Angel and Maria. That's been an interesting storyline.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
It's interesting.
Are you? Yeah, I didn't. When they first did it, I didn't buy it, but I was just like, come on. I guess they just wanted to do something with those characters.
I swallowed that pill in the beginning because I knew that they had a backstory before,
Yeah.
They had known each other for a really long time. It wasn't just like, they knew each other from the start of the show or something.
Right.
So I kind of bought it, but it was weird because, like they kind of mentioned, he was seeing that other cop lady.
Yeah, that was the story last season.
Yeah, and that seemed very involved. Like that was, he was really into her. I forget.
Yeah.
I don't remember how it played out, but did she dump him or something?
I don't remember, but what I think happened was they were good. They were together at the end of last season, and I think what happened was I think they explained this in some dialogue that something went wrong during the break. During the break, yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, that's what I was talking about too. Yeah, that's the only time they mentioned it. Was Masuka was saying, can you call her or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what was weird with the thing with Maria and Angel is like it seemed like there was some weird overlap between the relationships, but he had already been done with Babala.
Yeah. Oh.
I love his act. I don't know why he talks that way, but it's great. It's great Angel speak.
That's a great name for him to have to say a lot.
Yeah, Babala.
Babala. Wow.
No R's in that name.
Wow. Yeah, no, he's got yeah. I don't know what that is, but it's
I don't either.
Good.
But so speaking
like
of,
it's sort of like a list, but it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like that mostly due to accent or mostly due to how he talks. I don't know which. I think it's both at play.
I think it's both also.
I don't know who. Yeah. So speaking of Dexter, guess where? Oh, maybe this is a spoiler.
Oh God.
This
A spoiler for me?
This might be a what kind of spoiler is this? This is a spoiler that is, the result of deduction, my dear Watson.
Oh, okay.
Not a true spoiler, but a this might be true given what I could tell you.
Oh, okay. This is sort of like when Locke said I came for the submarine, and then I assumed that he came there to blow up the submarine.
No.
Oh, okay.
This is like Elizabeth Mitchell having a new TV show.
Oh. I see. Okay.
So I saw our dear friend Agent Lundy on another TV show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Wow.
So take that what you will. He wasn't one of the main characters, but he was in 3 or 4 scenes, so he's definitely a strong supporting character.
Mhm.
There's this show on TNT called White Collar.
Mhm.
And I saw ads for it, and I thought it looked halfway interesting, so I checked out the pilot. It's pretty good. I give it a solid B plus.
Mhm.
For a pilot. It's about an FBI agent he solves white collar crimes and tracks down criminals. And
does Lundy play an FBI agent?
Lundy plays. Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember what his character was. Now I'm wondering if he was in that or if he was in Dollhouse. Because I watched Dollhouse recently. Now I'm wondering if he was in Dollhouse instead.
Well, I could look it up.
Well, there's no way to find out.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I feel like he was playing a bad guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Dollhouse.
Dollhouse, that's where I saw him. Yeah. Yeah, he was playing a bad guy. That's right. So Dollhouse, by the way, not as good as season 1. Season 2 is overall blowing.
Oh, really?
They're not doing what they did in season 1 that was interesting at all. It's I don't know what they're doing, and they did the same thing too with like a time jump and and like leaving things like I feel like I'm not sufficiently grounded in this season. Like there are things that a big gap between last season and where the season started, and I feel like I'm waiting for them to fill in the gap, but they're continuing to progress the story, and it's like when am I going to figure out what happened and why things are like this? It's weird.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not as good. I'm hanging in there though, but it's really not as good.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Because we're hanging at the dollhouse.
Is that the theme song?
It's the theme song.
Okay.
Just me and my homies hanging at the dollhouse.
Mhm.
Yep, that's the song.
Wow.
But I think we talked about all the TV shows.
Yeah, pretty much. I just wanted to bring up that one thing, but overall it's been pretty good, and I think your spoiler is probably right. I mean, I kind of thought that anyway.
Yeah.
From the way they shot
what
it.
What are they gonna do? Like, really get him and Deborah back together?
Yeah. Yeah, no, like dramatically, it's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
So, and just the way they showed it.
I'm just glad, Jason didn't kill Lundy.
Oh, God. That would be hilarious.
Oh, man, I would love it to see if someone on YouTube would cut together Jason with the gun in his hand shooting, with Lundy getting shot. Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
Wow.
That'd be hilarious.
A crossover.
Mhm.
Be great. I don't know how he got to Miami, but
no, it's just the bullet. The bullet just zoomed to a different universe.
oh, okay. Wow. Barbara.
Blah.
Love that.
Yeah, the Angel Maria thing's interesting. It's
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. At first, it just seemed like a contrivance. I didn't really buy it, but as time has gone on, I bought it more. I think eventually they sold me on it.
yeah. Like we were talking about this off podcast, but I did like that scene on I think it was the last episode where Maria comes out to tell Angel she's got a lead on the case for some person they're looking for. Now, is the person they're looking for tied to the vacation murderers?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, he's the vacation murderer.
Oh, okay, it's him. So directly tied, as the police would say.
Yes.
And so they have this whole weird scene where she's pretending to be, just being all about business, but they want to leave together, and it comes off really awkward. And then you realize why is because she's kind of acting in the scene. And but yeah, like I told you before, it was really funny to me when their whole pretense was, hey, let's go check out this suspect, and okay, and then they get in the elevator, like, okay, where do you want to go eat lunch? Whatever, and they say, okay, a hotel room or something.
Yeah.
But then they actually go to the guy's place.
They did,
which was nice. I thought, like, okay, it's probably nothing, as she said, but it ends up being like the place where he's at.
Yeah, he was really there.
Yeah,
that was like a good lead.
Yeah, it was like a good lead. Like, wow.
Yeah, and I like the idea that they used it as an excuse to get out there, but they did their job in the end.
Yeah, that's the thing. They did their job in the end, and actually, you could argue that if they didn't, stop off at the hotel first, that guy might not have been there.
Yeah, that's true. He did come home when they were there.
Yeah.
Which was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I think the way they played it seems like if they'd been there earlier, like no one would have been there.
Yeah.
And it would have been a dead end.
Yeah. Depending on when they left, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm buying that storyline. It's okay. It's it gives them both something to do.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I don't love it, but it's working for me. It doesn't seem like some bullshit they made up.
They need to do something with Anton.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Anton's the third wheel now.
Hey baby, I got a gig in town now.
Yeah, right. It was weird when that scene happened because I think I was getting the same thing that Deborah. I was just like, oh, all right. You're going to be hanging around all the time. Oh, great. Can't wait. Like, he's so season 3 to me. I really, it's weird to have him around.
Yeah. He might not be around much longer.
Yeah, that's true.
Now that he's going to find out what he ever did.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. I don't know what to do with him anymore. Like he was better when he was tied into the plot. Yeah. There's that whole thing with him and what's his name? He was literally
tied up and getting attacked.
Yeah, and then actually getting taken by the whatever guy.
Whatever guy of the season.
Whatever
serial killer of the season.
Yeah.
That's
the Skinner. Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, the Skinner.
Yeah. This season it's John Lithgow.
He's good. He's menacing.
It's
amazing how menacing you can be.
What?
It's amazing how menacing you can be when you just like, are 6'5", nice normal looking old man who's just like growling all the time. Oh, and you kill people.
Right. Yeah. The first one was the most creepy to me.
Yeah, the first one was really, really, really creepy.
The one with the woman in the bathtub, like that was weird to watch.
Yeah.
Just like sitting in the bathtub with her and like while she's dying, God.
Yeah, it's not.
It's weird to watch. And I don't quite understand, like they've been talking what do I want to say?
Use your English.
Okay. I think I have two things I want to say. Maybe I'll say the first thing first. So the thing that's different is that usually we don't know who the killer is, and it's about figuring out. And what they've done this season is like followed the killer. We see him, and we know who he is. Yeah. And we know what he's doing, and so it's really we know more than we usually do. Yeah. So that's kind of weird. That's a change. And then they actually had him like run into Lundy, and Lundy was even suspicious about it. And I don't know if that's even going to go anywhere now that he's probably dead.
Yeah, and he recorded it.
Yeah, that's true. But it might take a while. Like it seemed like he was going to follow up on that really quickly.
It'll be one of the last things he recorded, and once Deb gets on the case, she can hear that.
Yeah.
That's an easy scene to write.
Yeah. But the other thing I was going to say is this whole thing with the other woman that he like took and made her like jump off. Like I still don't think I understand what that is. Like when they were investigating it, like Dexter has that line in the voiceover where he says he's different. He's different than I am, something like that. And that's been the whole thing. Like he really made her jump herself. Yeah. And like I want to understand what the point of that is, but I feel like I'm missing something.
I think he is reenacting whatever sequence of events that happened to him at some point. And one of it is, a woman jumping off of a building, I guess. But, and he wants to make these people reenact that.
Oh, that's right. He has some line where he said something like it has to be this way.
Yeah, he says it doesn't work like that. Like, he's not a typical serial killer where he just wants to sort of kill the person. It's more like he needs them to die in a specific way, and that's his thing. Like, he gets them and he forces them to reenact this whatever event, and I think it's more frightening than it's more frightening for him to make her have to jump than to push her. I think
Yeah, I agree.
And he threatened her kids, and it was like it's one of those weird situations where if she believes the threat that if she doesn't jump he'll kill her kids, then if she believes that, then she will jump because she doesn't want her kids dying. But if she does jump and die, she'll never know what happened. So she has to sort of trust him at his word that he won't do it, and it's such a strange predicament. Yeah. Because I'd rather be like, well, how about I not kill myself and hope I can stop you from killing my kids. Right. But that's a real world scenario, not like TV show. Right. Yeah. Not that anyone should go through that in real life.
Yeah.
Hope not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that made him a lot more interesting. The bathtub killing was interesting, and the sort of having to make it's three different sort of things, And then the third thing with the getting beat by the guy at the bar. Like,
that was a weird scene. Yeah. You think that's part of the reenactment thing?
Yeah, I think each person is a relative. I think the woman who jumped is probably the mom with the 2 kids or whatever it was. I think the girl in the tub might have been his sister or something.
Okay.
And I think the guy was his dad.
Oh,
Because he had that scene where he poured a drink,
right?
An empty drink, seat, and for an empty seat, and he was like, "Okay, you're next." So I think he's this weird delusional schizophrenic guy who's either hearing or imagining, these people or something, and I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's pretty complex.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a little more complex than the Skinner, who was just like skinning people for no reason.
Yeah. No, the Skinner was like a red herring in a way. Yeah. It was really the Jimmy Smits character who had more going on.
The Skinner was communism.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny because the anti-Obama detractors. Or I should say the Obama detractors.
Don't do a double negative.
Yeah, don't do a double negative. It always ends badly.
Mhm.
They say, they call him a communist and a socialist and stuff, and that really technically is a red herring from what the real issue is, and I just think that's pretty funny.
Mhm.
That literally communism is a red herring. Oh man,
I agree.
They don't, with that and the teabaggers, they don't even know how funny they are.
Mhm.
They just don't know.
Yeah, it's a good point.
But yeah, Dexter. Is that what we're talking about now?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's all I got. I just thought it was a good time to throw that stuff out there. Because we haven't been covering it, but it's probably, it's probably too late to catch up. So.
Yeah.
Well, that was our review of the first 4 episodes.
That's good. I'm on board.
I'm totally on board. I couldn't stand to watch Mad Men anymore. It wasn't interesting me at all.
Yeah, I'll watch it once the season's over.
Yeah, I think I'll do that too. And I don't know. Are there other shows that are on right now? Like, is 30 Rock on?
Yeah, 30 Rock is back, man.
Have you been watching it? Is it good?
I have been watching it, and I think the first episode was pretty rocky. I think they had a rough start.
Mhm.
Second episode was pretty good. I think they're gearing up. It's really interesting to see what they're doing. Because I wrote a 30 Rock spec that basically was like what would be the first episode. And some of the stuff that I did in my script, like the repercussions of the stuff with the deal breaker, like they're still dealing with that. So it's interesting to see what they're doing with the deal breaker stuff.
Mhm.
And they kind of expanded upon the whole deal breaker thing, getting her in trouble with people around her.
Mhm.
So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, in general, it's okay.
Okay.
I'd say it's a bit of a slow startup, but the second episode was pretty decent. It was good. I laughed.
Okay. Well, that counts.
They're trying. They're getting up there. I think it was a little bit of a slow go with the first one, but it's ramping up. It's pretty good. I'm excited.
I actually never completed the last season. There's still about, I think, at least 6 or 7 episodes I didn't ever see.
In the middle,
yeah. Yeah, I saw the beginning and the end. So I feel like I saw the whole season, but I had intended to go back, but I haven't done it. There was this post on the Steven posted on the forum about I saw that. The original pilot, I guess, where they had someone else playing Jenna.
Rachel Dratch.
Yeah, I guess she's from whatever. I don't really know who she is, but
she's messing up. You know her if you saw her. She's Debbie Downer.
Oh, she's Debbie Downer.
Yeah. She was in the first
okay.
season of. She was in the first season of 30 Rock. She was the the cat wrangler lady, and she was playing recurring roles in different characters.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Okay.
But originally, it was going to be, since Tina Fey and Rachel Dratch were like friends from Second City and all that, like, that it was going to be, because that's really what Liz and Jenna are. It's like that kind of idea of these two women, and one's more of an actress and one is more of a writer, and but they're both like comedians or whatever, comedians.
Please.
Sorry, I don't want to offend Elaine Boozler. I don't know. When I think of a comedian, I think of an 80s comedian.
Yeah.
Canadian female comedian. But yeah. I actually read the pilot, the original pilot. I haven't seen the unaired pilot, but I read the original script for the unaired pilot and saw some of the changes and differences, and it was interesting.
Mhm.
I think they made it better. I think what they went with is better.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually get to see it, but I was reading about what was in it on this page that he linked to, and it's just weird when you have like someone else in one of those parts that you know really well.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it freaks me out.
The original, from what I remember, reading in here, was the original idea of the show would be more. They would do more of the. They would have shown more of the sketches, which is why they wanted Rachel Dratch, because she would be doing the sketches, and she's a sketch performer.
Right.
But then they retooled it, and they wanted her to be more of a actress. Who could do sketch stuff, so that's what they got Jane Krakowski. And is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of, who's the Malcolm in the Middle's mom? Isn't she Jane too? She's got a weird last name too.
I have no idea.
Forgot her name. But yeah, so that was kind of why they switched. Because they thought they retooled the Jenna character.
Oh, okay.
And they and they realized they weren't going to try to show sketches.
Right.
Which has been that was their saving grace, I tell you, is not trying to make the sketches be good.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a crappy show works for them. It's funnier that way.
Yeah. I guess the way the Jenna character is so definitive to me. It's hard for me to imagine that not being what the character's like.
Yeah. Well, imagine it.
Well, it's hard.
We'll do it anyway.
I don't think I can. It hurts.
Well, just do it.
All right.
Get her done.
Get her. God.
As my rabbi would say.
Yes. So, is there anything else on? Yeah, I mean, I'm not watching anything else right now. That's all I can handle.
I think we pretty much talked about everything. I mean, like I said, I'm watching Dollhouse, but it's really not great. I'm very disappointed. I don't know what else. I think that's about it. Dexter, Modern Family, in terms of sitcoms. It's a good new sitcom. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, I knew the answer to that question. That was more of a.
I was surprised you were asking.
That was more of a for the podcast.
Okay.
Than if I was really questioning.
Yeah, no, as you know, I don't watch anything.
Yeah. It's this new sitcom, like single camera, like no laugh track. It's about
that's good.
It's about these three families who are technically all related. So you have Ed O'Neill, who plays, like, I'll say the dad, but it's relative. But Ed O'Neill plays, this guy who's recently married to this younger Latina lady, who's like this really hot lady, and she's like 20 years younger than him or something.
Okay.
And she has a little son, Manny, who's like 12 or something, or he looks like Webster.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a black kid though, but he looks like Webster to me. Like that's, I don't know. But and Manny is like totally one of those like precocious kids who thinks he's an adult and talks like he's an adult and just doesn't relate to kids his age and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that family. Then you have the other family, which is like Claire, the mom, and they have the dad, and they have three kids, like a teenage girl, a younger girl, then a little younger boy. And so the dad is kind of like Michael Scott. He's kind of slow, and he the show has that interview format, where they cut to the people talking on the talking heads,
Yeah.
So he really comes off like Michael Scott. I gotta tell you, what's his name? Not Greg. The actor who plays Michael Scott. I'm blanking.
Michael Scott's the Office guy, right?
Yeah.
John? No. Steven something.
Steve Carell. Yeah.
There you go.
He has ruined that kind of character for any male actor for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
It's done. It's done, guys.
Mhm.
Because this guy who plays, this dad in the other family, he's like, I would say he's like 60% Michael Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that same kind of mentality and the same kind of wants to get recognized for certain things, and so when he plays it like that, I just see Michael Scott.
Oh my
really
God!
bad. What?
That just reminded me. I recently had an occasion that I won't describe that caused me to watch about 15 minutes of an Office episode from this season.
Uh-oh.
And let me tell you, it's gotten crazy.
Oh, I know it's got... Dude, I saw a bit of an episode, last season or something, and this, I think I had told you, Michael had his own paper company, and people had been shuffled around.
Is that what happened?
Oh yeah.
It wasn't even the same office.
No. It was
a different office,
yeah.
And I didn't recognize a lot of the people, and they were I don't know Ryan was working there. As a employee again, I have no idea how any last I left off, he was a vice president or something, and they were still working.
Oh, you missed a whole bunch of shit, dude.
I was what the fuck?
He got fired from that job because remember the whole Dunder Mifflin website thing? They were trying to get that off the ground. That was his big thing, and I remember something big happened where he screwed up somehow, and he ended up with egg on his face, and he ended up having to come back and be the subordinate. I think basically, and then over time at some point, I think Pam moved up to a salesman, and then Ryan took over reception, and
really?
Oh yeah, it changed.
Whoa. Then, Pam and Jim were on a honeymoon.
Yeah, they had their big wedding episode, the one before that, I think.
And someone called them. Who was it? Someone called them, and they were totally assholes.
Were they?
It was amazing. Yeah.
They're still assholes.
They were just we're on a honeymoon. Shut up, and then they hung up on them.
Oh wow. I'm telling you, that was my first big thing about them. When they're together, they're just assholes.
Yeah, they were totally rude. It was like they haven't changed at all since I stopped watching. I couldn't believe it. Someone was calling them. I mean, it was the kind of thing where I could understand they didn't want to hear about it, but I just expect them to be like a little bit more, a little bit less assholes. I don't know.
America loves their asshole couples, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a thing.
Look at Brad and Angelina.
Oh, yeah.
I was really kidding, but I guess you think they're assholes.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I don't know.
Brangelina, that's an asshole name.
Sure. Sounds like it.
Yeah, that show has really changed. I thought about watching the wedding episode, but I just don't really care anymore.
Yeah, no, it was just like I didn't recognize anything. The whole thing felt weird. And everybody's hair was different.
They love changing people's hair.
Which I know is a minor thing, but it really was distracting me.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that show.
But I bet I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled a what do they call it? Were they still working at Dunder Mifflin?
I couldn't tell. I thought so, but they didn't.
Because Michael, from what I remember, Michael opened the Michael Scott paper. There was some sort of thing at work, and I guess he decided to leave and start his own company, and it was the Michael Scott Paper Company. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like, Dunder Mifflin's closing down, and then everyone who wanted to go with Michael went with Michael, and then that's the new company. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that.
Yeah, that would be why they have a different office and stuff, but.
Yeah.
I just assumed they had moved offices, but I don't remember them saying Dunder Mifflin, but I just assumed that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though the office is different, it was the same kind of environment.
Yeah.
So I just thought, I missed something so it's actually supposed to be his paper company.
That's my guess. I don't know what happened since I.
What happened with Jan? What is she still around?
Dude.
She didn't show up in the piece I watched.
She was on her way out the door back when I was watching, though. After, because they moved in together at some point, it was just going horribly. And
Yeah.
I think she left him. At that point.
Oh, yeah. That sounds right. I barely remember, though. It's been so long. It's been 2 seasons or something since I last watched it.
Yeah.
So I'm just completely out of touch. It's weird to just jump in on a show you haven't seen for a long time like that.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was going to do it, but I was scared. It's just this is yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even imagine watching Scrubs now.
It's over.
Or is it over?
I think they just had that one last season on ABC when they switched over.
Oh.
I think it was just one season they did.
Oh,
and
okay.
I think they had the finale already.
I really thought they weren't going to end it. They were going to keep going. So it's over now.
Yeah, it's over now. They all died.
Okay, they all died.
Mm-hmm. JD woke up and we realized it was all just his dream.
Wow. No, according to this, there's going to be another season.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have sworn they had the series finale. Wow. Are you reading IncorrectFacts.com?
I am.
Damn it.
It really should have occurred to me that that wasn't the place to find correct facts. Yeah, it's supposed to premiere January 6th.
Well, that's in the future.
It is. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought they were going to keep going.
Okay, well.
So, anyway, my point stands.
All right. Touché.
It would, even if they were ending, just watching anything recent on that show would be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to follow anything.
Well, I think we should end the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm out of things to say.
Oh, okay.
But I like that we covered a lot.
Yeah. Yeah,
sprinkled our TV discussion over many.
Yeah,
many
yeah. It sort of
long
turned into a
TV.
TV cast.
Yeah. TM.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even watch a lot of TV. I don't know how I managed to get through that.
Well, the times when you only saw single footsteps, that was me carrying you.
Oh, okay. So Dollhouse is that the Diablo Cody show?
That's the Josh Whedon show.
Oh, Josh Whedon show. Okay. What's the Diablo Cody show?
That's the other show about characters with multiple personalities.
Oh.
That's the United States of Tara.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Dollhouse. Okay.
Yeah, Dollhouse is got a lot of interesting. Oh, they didn't close their. The U-Haul truck. They didn't close their back.
Ooh, is there stuff in it?
Well, it's empty, but I mean, it's got like it's. I mean, it's not like a lot of stuff, but it's got the dolly and other little things. The dolly looks strapped, but I think it might fall out. I don't know.
Those things are heavy.
Yeah.
They're not fucking around.
Crap coming out of the back. Yeah, I like the Dollhouse. I'm gonna hang in there, but it just seems like it's all over the place. Like I said, I don't feel grounded in this season yet. There's like a lot of crazy stuff happening, and it's like, what? Why are you doing it? And the format of the show is different.
Oh.
Like they used to have the format where they would kind of like you'd be sort of introduced to the client or something and the reason why they needed a doll, and then you'd see the doll getting programmed and then the doll in action, and then there'd be like a twist on that, or something unexpected, and then then there'd be a couple twists or something and before it's over, and that was kind of the episode, while that's going on, they're furthering other storylines and other parts of the the world, but that was kind of the format, and it was really interesting because it was like, depending on the episode and depending on the what this assignment was, it could be any kind of show. You know what I mean? Like there was an episode where it was kind of like a bank heist. They programmed one of the dolls to be a bank robber, an expert bank robber. So it was like this bank heist action show for a little bit of it. It was like, so it was cool. You get these different genres out of what whatever the assignment was going to be.
Are the dolls robots?
No, they're people.
Oh,
basically,
they're people.
There's a technology that allows you to copy brain scans and mix and mingle and basically create. It's basically Dark City.
Okay.
You can create personalities. Fairly easily, and so basically people pay this dollhouse organization to live out fantasies or whatever sort of interaction that they want with one of their dolls. And the dolls, the actives, the people who get programmed sign up for this. It's like a 5-year commitment where they will be used, for these assignments. But they sign up for it because they're trying to escape something, or there's usually some big reason that would drive someone to do this. Because the part of the compensation is that they will be made to forget or whatever. Like if you did something really horrible and you couldn't live with yourself, you could go to the dollhouse and be a doll for 5 years, and at the end of your 5-year contract, you'll have X amount of money or whatever, plus they'll erase that out of your mind or whatever. But the idea is all these people there are technically there voluntarily.
Okay.
All the dolls. That's the main idea.
Okay.
But of course they don't know that, they during their 5-year period they're generally speaking, they're never their original selves during that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, so it calls into question, what is humanity? What's your personality?
The usual questions.
The usual big questions that are really interesting and but this season's been weird.
kind of crappy. Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah, that sounds kind of interesting. There's I could watch that at some point.
hopefully this season, I definitely recommend season 1. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Very, very good.
Okay.
And apparently there's a 13th episode that did not air but came out on the DVD I have to watch. That might tie together some of this stuff. Maybe that's where the confusion is. I don't know, but
that's weird.
Gotta figure it out. Yeah, it was this weird thing with how they had their season and I don't know, some weird network thing.
It really sucks not to air like a final episode.
Yeah. It wasn't, it wasn't, I don't think it's a final episode like a real finale, because they did show the finale of the season, but I think it was just, it had other stuff in there.
Oh, it was just stuff they cut out?
Yeah, I think it's more just stuff they cut out.
Oh, okay.
Or like an episode they were going to air and didn't, or something like that. But I don't think it was like, we missed the finale.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Okay,
no,
okay.
They definitely had a finale episode.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. Oops, catch the DVD for the finale, guys.
Yeah. It's just crappy. Come on, guys.
Yeah. That would be craptastic.
Very.
So, yeah.
All right, so you wanna put this baby to bed?
Put this baby to bed, but not in a corner. Unless the bed's in the corner.
There we go.